Alright, welcome back to this special discussion on chain snatching in Chennai. We are joined live in our studio by Dr. Senthil Vale and Deputy Commissioner of Police Adyar and Radha Shekhar, who is a model coordinator and also a homemaker, somebody who almost had her chain snatched for 20 years ago, and she actually perfected the art of preventing that. Also giving us useful tips. Dr. Senthil Vale, a lot of people say that it's one thing, one part of the story is to have your chain snatched, the other is to actually get it back. To get back your stolen jewelry sometimes can be an ordeal. At least this is what at least crime journalists talk about it, this in the police commissioner's office, over lunch. That look, there's this big, demonstration and display of stolen jewelry, which is announced with much fanfare, and then the senior officials are seen giving away the jewelry, but then it's taken back, and to actually get it back from the police is a long, arduous procedure. Is that true?
It's not a long, there are some legal procedures to become formalities.
What is the time frame, realistic time frame to get it back?
It's not a specific time frame. Once the chain is stolen, whatever is recovered, we basically fill a form and hand it over to the court, saying this is a case property. And in case in emergency situations, the complainant can file a petition in the court and get it back. But it is the responsibility of the complainant to produce it at the time of the trial.
But it's so near yet so far. I mean, you get it, you pose with it, and then finally...
that's a part of a legal system. So you'll have to produce the chain back when the case comes up for trial.
Do people actually get back their own chains, or it's something else? Because even bikes also, you get somebody else's bike and they tell you, okay, you keep it. I mean, there's an adjustment.
I'm not sure it really happens, but
in cycles.
It's the chain.
But realistically, how long will it take for a person once the display happens and then that person is shown?
The next day, once you file it in the court, the complainant can file a petition in the court.
A week, maximum a week?
Yeah, less than that. And they should make it a point to bring it back to the court when the case comes up for trial.
Yeah, it happens sometimes for, they bought something for their wedding and then the previous date's missing and then they have to claim it for the wedding. So will they get it immediately?
Yeah.
See, also they leave another challenge for you is that these chain snatchers, apart from not having fingerprints because they are not history sheeters, they are first time offenders, all they need to do is to steal a bike, do a recce, and then the only evidence of the fingerprints is actually along with them because they've snatched the chain. So how do you then actually, do you have a database? Are you also contemplating, one possible suggestion is that you could come up with a rogues gallery, give them publicity, give the chain snatchers publicity so that people will be wary of those who look...
we have a huge database, that's an expanding database. Gone were the days we have specific criminals with specific modus operandi. Now most of the criminals are comfortable with chain snatching because most of them are adept in driving bikes, and to steal a bike probably it will take probably 5 minutes for me. The professional guy would do it in 2-3 minutes. So it's easy to steal a bike, and snatching is also easy. So
what's easier, stealing a bike or snatching a chain?
I think stealing a bike is
stealing a bike is easier. But that's again alarming. I mean, for those who park their bikes, the hope that they would come back and take them away. What are the precautions they need to take also? Because this is another offshoot of this discussion.
Yeah, I think it's a huge issue. Even the manufacturers shall address. In fact, 98 when I was in college, I got a bike for 45,000 rupees. The rates continue to stay, and probably they should invest more in having a secure system of locks. And probably we have these spoke locks, which is very difficult to break. And probably it probably takes another 10-20 seconds. It's more in the mind, the laziness of the part of the rider to not to utilize the wheel locks. If probably they utilize that, it will be very difficult for them to take away. And you have the number locks also for bikes.
Radha, you wanted to ask the Deputy Commissioner.
So I just wanted to know, suppose this guy is coming to snatch my chain, and just out of impulse, he just hits me and goes, or takes my chain and goes. I just throw a stone at him. So he either gets injured or he dies. Then how am I going to be punished?
Section 100 of the IPC.
Yeah. There's a right to private defense on the part of the victim. So we do have safety safeguards for the victim. Yeah. But so whatever action you do...
Is it easy to prove, or am I going to go through a lot of...
No, not at all. No. The police will take care of it. Nothing to worry.
Because instinct, when somebody attacks you, you hit them back.
It's natural.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead.
You can go ahead and whack the daylights out of somebody who's trying to snatch you.
But the force you use should be commensurate with the offense.
The doctrine of proportionate force is there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's the evidence? Because people here are scared to come for witness. So how do I prove that I only did it in self-defense and not to attack him?
That's the part of the investigator, the interrogator. We'll find out what your real intentions are. So
and what if he's not taken my chain, is still there on me?
An attempt itself is an offense under law.
Yeah, but that's difficult to prove, right? That's what I'm saying.
How many people actually come forward to complain really? Some of them fear this lengthy legal trial. So they feel that, okay, the chain has gone fine. Some of them also fear some sort of reprisal if these people are notorious. So what would you like to tell to all those people who are victims of chain snatching, but are a little hesitant to come forward to complain for obvious reasons.
I think fortunately now with the increased awareness, we do get more complaints. That is one reason, and we make it a point to avoid this bucking of offences. And it isn't very difficult. The legal process is very short, unlike other grave cases of murders and other things. The number of witnesses are very few in this case. So it should not be a long-drawn process as far as the legal procedures are concerned. Probably an FIR, to draft an FIR will take not more than 15 minutes. You get a copy of the FIR.
Sometimes, to be fair, I mean, sometimes the poor victim goes, and
Correct.
complains to the police. Again, it's at the cutting edge of the police department, the station house officer, the inspector, or the sub-inspector, or the writer on the station. The usual refrain is that, couldn't you have been careful? And then you come and saddle us with, they almost shout at people who go to complain. This happens in many places.
That is wrong. Probably couldn't have been careful could be more of an advisory note. And probably the tone should have been more polite. And there are some instances, and we've educated them to be more polite to the complainants. And any complaint you come, you register, investigate. In case it's true, you proceed with whatever facts you have.
How many such gangs have been identified by the police? I mean, those who specialize in chain snatching, or those who perhaps also double up as chain snatchers who are involved in other crimes?
We have plenty of gangs operating in the city, and it's more to do with the individual couple of them, and not the organized gangs which you have for the regular rowdy-related activities.
What do you do for, let's say, college students or women who come to adverse notice in these cases?
That's quite an unfortunate trend these days. That I would say it's almost 35% of them.
35% are college students or women.
First-time offenders, and women are very minuscule, and probably statistic would be single digit in percentage-wise. College students are quite high. College students, educated graduates, so probably 30% would be
girls and boys.
Yeah.
Even girl students also.
Yeah.
And are they from well-to-do families or?
Yeah, one is because the rise in consumerism these days. Everyone wants to have a swanky mobile phone. He wants to drink, probably eat and go to a pub and probably offer a treat for all his friends. This was not a trend probably a couple of decades back. You didn't have so many opportunities. Mobile phones are not existent. So the demands, the peer pressures that they tend to compare with their friends and their lifestyle. So even people from reputed families who probably don't get enough money from home, we have had cases where they indulge in chain snatching. Well, thanks to the skyrocketing gold prices, probably even 1 7 would yield you 14,000 rupees. Yeah.
All right, easy money there. Radha, any final tips to other women who go out on the streets of Chennai?
Yeah, generally don't flaunt your jewelry is one thing. And I also heard sometimes, in somewhere long back in Bombay, a lady was wearing a false thing, not a real gold. She was wearing something as costume jewelry. The next day, the robber came back and slapped her and said, "Why did you cheat me?"
I thought this was in Kolkata. I mean, I heard the same
No,
story
I heard
too
this
in
is
Bombay.
So, I mean, these things can happen, but all the same, I think we should not flaunt our jewelry.
All right. So, just to sum up, Dr. Senthil, call 100.
Shout, call 100. And make it a point to note down the maximum details possible as far as the assailant is concerned, and your preventive measures. And preventive measures are how you walk on which side of the road, utilize the platform.
Hope that you have a platform and.
Yeah. Always make use of the left extreme part of the road. And in case you have a dominant partner, make it a point that he's on the right side and he walks with you.
Dominant partner is a man, is it?
Yeah, who probably who's more muscular and who could probably resist an attack.
And also, I think self-defense courses also are advice.
Correct.
We at EDTV Hindu must point out we have a regular self-defense segment that we run every morning. Shihan Hussaini, karate exponent, actually. So maybe even the police can also sort of join in and give people tips on how to actually prevent such crimes. But thank you very much, Dr. Senthil, for joining us. Thank you very much, Radha. But before we leave you, South Chennai, I mean, known for its educational institutions and IT parks, is also known for white-collar crimes. We leave you with a story on Shanmuga Rajeshwaran, the Joint Commissioner of Police, South Zone. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Many remember Shanmuga Rajeshwaran as the police officer who handled the Dr. Prakash's case with sensitivity. Handling crime with an iron hand clad in velvet is in fact this well-built officer's USP. The 1989 batch officer has now taken over as the Joint Commissioner of Police, South Chennai. What is Shanmuga Rajeshwaran planning to do on tackling crime which has been on the rise in his jurisdiction in the last few years?
We give priority to control rowdyism, number one, and we categorize rowdies into various A, B, C, D category, target the top category, prioritize actions against them legally.
The Joint Commissioner says he has worked out a strategy to curb rowdyism, chain snatching, robberies and burglaries and is confident of making it work. What is his mantra for staying cool in hot situations?
Emotional balance only. You know your emotions, you can control them, that's all. You know, the petitioners sometimes come with a very highly charged emotion. So you empathize with them, see what their problem is. And similarly, you are aware that your job is like that. And when you are aware of your jobs are there, your schedules are, you are aware of that, you balance your emotions on that. Basically, it is emotional management.
The man in charge of Mike 10 says he's ready to take head-on anyone who poses a threat to law and order in his area.
Many notorious gangsters have moved their base from North Chennai to South as there is more money to be made in land deals and kangaroo courts in the South. From gangsters to chain snatchers, no doubt Mr. Shanmuga Rajeshwaran has tough challenges ahead. Will he deliver? In Chennai, Salim for NDTV Hindu.